This episode of Please See Below is presented to you by Amazon. Amazon has everything for every party. Let's say your daughter wants a birthday party, but she doesn't just want any party. She wants a tea party. Nah, scratch that. A princess tea party. Wait, a princess T-Rex party? Honestly, I have a few questions. But you have Amazon. From tea sets to tiaras to apparently toddler-sized T-Rex costumes, shop everything for every party on Amazon.
What's up, everyone? It's Rachel Lindsay, and if you love all things Bravo, then you need to be listening to Morally Corrupt. Every Tuesday and Friday, your favorite Ringer podcasters and I dive into Bravo's biggest moments and dish out hot and always unfiltered takes. And guess what? Now you can watch us too. That's right, Morally Corrupt is now available in video on Spotify. So whether you're listening in your family van or watching next to your white refrigerator, don't be all uncool and miss out. Catch new episodes every Tuesday and Friday only on the Ringer Reality TV feed.
Okay, this is a little bit of a bonus episode because I'm in London and you've seen her once, not twice, a dozen times on my Instagram. One of my dear London girly friends, Talya Shelley. Talia, welcome to Please See Below. Hello, welcome to Please See Below, my brand new podcast, all about perfecting the art of oversharing. Here, we mention the unmentionables and talk about topics and things that no one wants to say out loud, but everyone is desperate to know. Talia was actually here, sitting in the corner, kind of interrupting my last podcast. So as punishment, I make her come on to this one. Hi, honey bunny. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for always putting me on the spot.
I love putting you on the spot. Okay, let's talk really quick how we met. We've known each other for about 4 years. Our very lovely mutual friend, Edda, who's head of arts and culture at Google, who I have known for 17, 18 years, who's also one of your, practically teen childhood friends. Like I said, Edda's been a dear friend of mine for so long, and when Edda, a couple years ago, was like, you're going to really, really love this girl. And I don't know how other people feel, but as an adult, I don't make that many, adult friendships, really super close in my 30s. I just haven't. I have college friends, middle school friends in my 20s, but, I haven't, in my 30s, you have probably been the one friendship that, is new and has been, instantaneously so fast. I remember walking into your apartment when you were hosting dinner and, we were like, bye, Edda. Hi, best friend. And now she has a lot of FOMO. She's going to get jealous of this, too.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
But, yeah.
Sorry, Edda.
I know, but you're such a doll and you're such a sweetheart. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? You're a jewelry designer.
Jewelry designer. Live in London.
Mm-hmm. Former Viscountess.
Oh my gosh.
You forget about that.
I do forget about that.
You do forget. That's crazy to me because I feel like if I had that, I would be flaunting it everywhere and I would be like Countess Luann and be like, I'll carry that shit to my grave. But you literally just oh, was I? Oh, I don't remember. Oh, darling.
Delete, erase, no thank you.
Yes, as you just jump on your Lime bike and rip around. Aside from Countess Luann, the only other Countess, Viscountess that I know is Talia. What is that like, Your Honor? What do I do? Curtsy? Salute? Pledge allegiance?
Well, I was married for a hot second.
There you go.
For about a year.
Nice.
It's funny because your friend's trajectory was exactly like mine.
Richie's.
So I had, Richie's.
Okay.
So I had goosebumps listening to her. And I was like, oh, okay.
A lot of my friends, you guys are all super fabulous and married really, really amazing men, but then realized that, quickly that you're this wasn't the right decision. And then made a quick decision and confident one.
You realize that, better out than in.
What are we talking? Wait, is it? I thought we liked it in, honey.
I knew I'd get you with that one.
Yeah, see, she got it. So Talia's going to try to be on her best behavior, but she's absolutely insanely naughty. She was whispering before we started, we have to be good. Yeah. We will. We'll be very, very proper because we know your mom and dad will listen because they love us. And I love your mom and dad. Yes. I'm the biggest fan. Talia's father's basically not, I shouldn't say, he isn't Richard Branson, but he's looks like him, acts like him, is as amazing and smart and successful and entrepreneurial and literally the best guy in the world. And he's Talia's the apple of his eye. He's English, British, and then Talya's mommy is Turkish, marhaba, marhaba, which we love, and I'm obsessed with her mom, and her mom's been through so much and is such a tough cookie, and mom and dad met on a flight, London, Istanbul, and fell in love, and had Talia and her brother and her sister. Talia's brother's hot. We'll flash a picture of him. He's single. I would date him. He's a Lamborghini. He's very hot. We really, really like him. Very successful as well, but Talia in her own right is very successful. Jewelry designer, entrepreneur, she does it all with great hair.
Thank you. Says Brynn, jack of all trades.
Well, I'm not wearing clothes today on my pod. Because this is a short episode, I decided to take all my clothes off, and we're really desperate for advertisers, so
attention.
So I figured in this episode we could talk about what we always talk about, which is our favorite topic, I feel like, which is boys.
Boys, boys, boys.
We love boys. We love boys. They ruin our lives, but we love them. We ruin their lives, and we love them even more. We were just talking about we want to go out after this. Unfortunately, Chiltern isn't open anymore right now because it burned down. But I just jogged my memory of a very amazing Chiltern story from 2 years ago where do you remember this one? I went on the date with the guy who was the head of Disney. Not the head, but one of them. And
not to give it away.
We meet on Riot. It's so easy to find though. And he's notorious. I go on Riot, match with this guy. He asks me out to drinks. We go to Fouquet's, okay? And we have a drink, and he's cute. He's tall, handsome, like looks very successful, if that's a thing. You know, you just like look rich. The guy just like looked rich. So he's great, and I'm talking and blabbering on the date, and he asks me, because I said something like, oh, I'm an Aquarius. He's like, when's your birthday? And I thought he was just trying to clock it. So I say, oh, February 7th, you know, and he knew how old I was. And I'm talking, and the man's on his phone, and I'm thinking, this is kind of weird. And he puts his phone down, and he's like, what are you doing tomorrow? Something, or I'd like to take on another date. And I was like, sorry, I'm busy. He's like, no, you're not. You're coming to London. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm interviewing for the head position of Chelsea, like the football team.
Yes.
And he's like, come with me to the interview. And I was like, first of all, this is a move. You want me to come to like a job interview with you? And I like that you just got the ticket, and I'm not a fly me out girl, but I was like, you know what? Because he had to leave that night. So I remember though, I was like, was it you or Ed? I was like, no, I'm staying with my girlfriend. I'm not staying with you because that's weird. But sure, I'll go to dinner with you in London.
He knew he'd get the job then.
Yeah. No, I remember trying to be like, I'm gonna steal this motherfucker's job. But
You would.
I would too. I was doing my homework. But anyhow, long story short, sure, you know, go to the game, we go to dinner. But I think he thought that I was all talk about I wasn't gonna sleep with you, and you don't even know, like, I won't sleep, you know. Yeah. I won't sleep for a year, mother. I do not care.
Make them work for it.
I mean, like, I got a vibrator, I'm good. You know, like, I don't need you, dude. So I think he thought he was going to close it, and he definitely didn't. Long story short, he was supposed to come and have dinner with all of us, and he's like, I have to stay in. He's like, oh, I don't feel well or something. Mm-hmm. So the next morning, mind you, I'd gone, you know, at Chiltern. They knew me. They knew us, that we were together hanging out that week. And I go to Chiltern, and I go to the front desk. I was like, hi, I'm here to see so-and-so. I brought him his favorite cappuccino. I knew his favorite. I don't know, after 4 days. And they were like, okay, yeah, go on up. And I was like, no, call him. This will be funny. Call him and just like say like, oh, housekeeping is coming up, Miss Whitfield. So they call. They think it's a funny joke. The guy's face falls at the front desk. And he's like, okay. And he hangs up and he's like, Miss Whitfield, you, can you go to the restaurant? I was like, what? I was like, no, I'm going upstairs. Like, I know his room is. Like, I'm going to go jump on him and give him his coffee and say good morning and be cute because I'm cute, you know? And they were like, you need to sit in the restaurant. And I start, you know that feeling you get when you know? And I was like, I know something's up. Mind you, I'm not dating this guy, blah, blah, blah. But it was like 5 dates in a row. And it was kind of like getting close. He's trying. Yeah. And in my mind, too, I was like, maybe I should sleep with, like, maybe I could date him, etc. So I then decided, I'm texting him, like, what's going on? And he's like, you shouldn't be here, etc. I'm like, what do you mean I shouldn't be here about you coffee? Like, you're being weird. And then I remember I'm texting and then
like, 5 dates in, I'm your girlfriend now.
Oh, 100%, by the way.
We're getting married.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I already have your last name. Like, I'm picking out rings. Where are you? I'm way downstairs like a creeper. And I remember I was like, there's someone upstairs.
Yeah.
And I sat down there, just put my phone down. I'm texting Edda and Talia, and I'm like, this guy, da, 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 da. Which I think you guys are, get him. So I'm gonna wait this one out. And the server's like, anything for breakfast? I'm like, no, I'm just sitting with one coffee. I'm like, I'm good. I'm just gonna wait. Sure enough, like clockwork, comes down the elevator. This girl, God bless her, super hot, but like hair's a mess, wearing yesterday's outfit, goes outside, gets in an Uber. And then about 3 minutes later after she leaves, I'm still downstairs. He's like, sorry, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Like, are you still here? Come up or I'll come downstairs. I was like...
You're like, I'm going to show you what's that.
Absolutely not. No, I didn't do anything. I was like shaky. I was like, I'm gone. I was so sad. I went home and cried. It was like really, really sad. Right? Bummer. But... dating in London's awesome.
I mean, hindsight, you should have just ordered everything on the buffet.
I know. Been like, charge it to the room. No, but that's I think Raya is interesting. I think dating in London is interesting. I always tell people, but that's one bad story. But overall, I think that dating in London is actually really, really amazing. What do you think?
I mean, this is awful. I think that it depends. The last date that I went on, I actually felt completely catfish. I didn't tell you about this. Did I tell you about this one?
Oh my God.
The guy looked super handsome in his profile and tall.
Okay.
Not that that matters because, I'm not exactly very tall myself. But he arrived and he was kind of Polly Pocket sized and he was quite nervous.
Not the Paul Pocket. The Polly Pocket.
The Paul Pocket.
No, it's Polly Pocket.
Is it?
The joke. I made it a very good joke. I'm an idiot.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
And I don't know. Listen, I think it depends. You can either have fun with it and just have a good laugh, or, you're kind of like, oh gosh, all the good ones are taken, and
like have fun with it on the date, like you're laughing at him, or like
no.
the fact you're like, okay.
Actually, so the last date I had with this guy, I ended up texting my Lebanese guy friend. I'm like, you have to call me and pretend that you're a client of mine, and that I have to come and see you soon, which is awful because
that's okay.
But we all do that. And so I left and I had a lot of fun with my friends, and I ended up meeting someone else there. So,
Have you ever done 2 dates in one night?
Two dinners?
Like 2 dates in one night. Like,
yes.
2 dinners.
I mean, I've had 2 dinners even.
That's a lot of food. How many courses?
As long as I'm eating, I'm fine.
You're like, as long as you're eating, you're fine. One time I did 3 in one day. I did 3 dates in one day. I met one guy for breakfast, then I met another guy, David Shapiro, he's my friend now, but we went on one date once, for lunch, and then we ended up having a very long lunch, and then I met another guy for drinks.
I feel that's very easy to do in New York City.
In New York it is.
Right? Yeah.
Go, go, go.
Yeah, exactly.
New York it's easy, but I feel like other places it's not. I love London because the guy from Raya was actually American, so he doesn't speak for all London men. I think dating in London is insane. It is literally, I say it's fishing in a stacked pond. I'm sorry. You used to live in New York. Talia used to live in New York, and New York is so, I mean, the ratio of men to women, it has to be like for every 6 men, there's 10 women. No, I think it's almost 5 to 10. All I see is women, beautiful women, walking around Soho. They're all like 25, taller than like a Christmas tree, and beautiful, and all have blue checks. And like London, all I see is men. And they're in suits or cliches or whatever they're called. Gilets.
Gilets.
Gelatos. They're wearing those gelatos. And they love Americans. Like, they think we're like so cute. They don't see like the train wreck
out of the box.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of which, do you remember that one time when we were at the Pelican and you're like, okay, my husband's here. I just need to find him. And after a couple of drinks,
I do this.
After a couple of drinks, you were just walking around and being like, excuse me, are you my future husband?
I did. I love the Pelican.
And I don't think anyone said no.
Oh,
even
really?
the ones that were taken.
I literally don't remember this. I black out. That kind of sounds like me, though. When I'm in London, I have so much fun. I'm so happy. I'm so happy with you, Netta, that I'm on one. Like, I'm very like I'm
that's just when you're having fun, but you're usually quite shy.
When I like someone, I'm shy. Yeah,
You
if I
do get
don't
really
like anyone,
shy.
I'm the most confident woman in the world. But if I actually like someone, I'm shy. I was trying to figure this out the other day. What is the difference? What do you think is the biggest difference? You lived in New York for 10 years.
Yes.
Now you've been in London. You also
Yes.
spent some, you have a place in Dubai. What is the biggest difference between American men and London guys?
Etiquette.
And then you say etiquette. I say etiquette. Etiquette? Manners?
Manners. Actually, I do now that I'm here and I've been living here, I do miss how forward New York men were. I didn't
Yes.
appreciate it at the time,
Right.
but now I'm like, I'm here. I'm standing here.
Yeah.
You've been staring at me. Just
Yeah.
walk over and hit on me,
Yeah.
please.
London men don't do that.
No.
They're not big on like, maybe you can say that they're also not like creeps, but they're just not forward.
Yeah, they're not
much
forward.
more kind of more shy.
Reserved.
And you kind of have to really put it out there that, hey, you're allowed to come and talk to me. Versus the US, it's like,
They'll just come. They'll just go for it.
yeah. They jump
You know,
right
they're
in.
like, we're just 5 slaps down.
Yeah. Spice that stuff.
I'm on the 6th one ready to go.
I think that men in London are more professional.
True.
Like, I think that there's
In
not...
their demeanor.
Yeah, and their demeanor...
They are awful drunks, though. They do drink. British men do. They
drink
can't hold their
more
alcohol.
because of pub culture.
Yes.
But I think LA guy, like, on the spectrum, LA, I don't know if you ever dated in LA. LA was the worst. LA is like, you're a writer. I remember one time a guy was like, well, I'm an actor, a producer, and a director. I'm like, what do you act and produce and direct, sir? I don't think anything. You know, he was like a slash.
Yeah.
No one wants a commitment in LA. Half the people are driving around in Range Rovers, but you don't know how they get their money. Like, everything is kind of all over the place. And everyone's hot. Everyone's super hot in LA, the men. New York, I feel like they're richer, a little bit more bold, but a little bit more like, hey, I get that, like, if we continue to date, this is going to go somewhere, and then we'll be in a committed relationship and exclusive, and they're taking the steps.
Yeah.
LA, you can just date someone for 8 years, and it's like, we're best friends. Like, that was great. You know, like, you
They're like, we don't need to put labels on anything.
no,
we don't have
you
to
meet
define
parents,
it,
and
you
it's
know?
like, you're not, like, you call me, you're not my girlfriend. You know, it's like, they're very weird. It's La La Land. And then New York is, I think, a little more traditional, but London is my favorite because I just feel like they're so easy and sweet and kind, and they all have, like, their jobs and their offices, and they wear their little vests, and, like, I don't know.
I love how they feel like toys.
Yeah, well, there's so many of them. I
Yes.
don't see women in London. I feel like not every woman's gonna be like the whole fucking planet is now gonna just set every single woman.
Maybe
But
because they're shorter than you.
maybe, but they're all yeah. I don't see women walking around like Central there. I don't.
You probably don't notice them because they're not as fabulous.
Okay, I think there's a lot of fabulous. I think there's a lot of fabulous women. I swear these women are just like at home. They're not caring. Maybe because they have so many options. They're like, I know I can step outside and fall on top of, one. I was gonna say it British. I should say it. But I don't know. I encourage all single women to come to London at least for like a week and just shoot your shot and try your luck because I think you'll find your husband. You can run around the Pelican and ask dudes if they are your husband. I'm like the little bird in the book. Are you my mom? Like, are you my husband?
You actually ended up meeting someone.
When?
Remember?
Which one?
When you're like, that one.
Oh, yeah. And then you went and got... So Talia's a great wing woman. So anytime I'm out, I spy with my little eye a cute guy. And again, when I think a guy's actually like properly handsome, or I think like... I can see 99 guys I don't like, and then I see one, and I'm like, and I get nervous and shy. I send her, and she's on it like. I remember I pinpointed the one guy who's blonde, and then you went outside the Pelican, and what did you say? You're like, my friend thinks, how do you pick up men for me? Because you do it a lot. I point, and you literally get them every time.
I think that one over there. I said, you see my friend over there. And he said, yes. I said, she's gorgeous, isn't she? And he's like, yes. I was like, well, you're in luck because she thinks the same about you.
That's so good,
So just you
Talia.
come join us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he came over, he was like ready to propose.
Yeah.
And then I remember I went to the bathroom, and then you showed up in the bathroom after me. You're like, so look, he's going to ask you for your number. You're going to give it to him. And then you guys are going to go on a date. And I was like,
In New York.
oh, yeah. You're like, he's going back to New York. You guys are going to meet then. I already gave him your schedule. I'm like wiping, like, I'm like, okay, cool. Thanks, T. Like, close the deal. Arrange the first date for me, too.
Yeah.
And you helped me draft a lot of my texts.
Oh, yes. Those ones.
Talia can get the guy. What's your best advice for a girl, a woman, female, or whoever it is, doesn't matter. But when you're liking someone and you're texting and you don't know what to say, or you feel like the conversation is stalled. Because anytime that I get nervous, you literally have the perfect response. If there's someone who hasn't texted you back in a while, DM Talia. She'll tell you what to say. They will text you within 5 minutes. You're like the queen of it. You don't use standard responses. You're like, say this. I always say Talia is living proof of this is how you are with men when you were loved by your father, because you're just like very confident. You always know what to say. You're like, this man's not shit. Like, and men are obsessed with you. So what is your best advice for someone who gets insecure about texting or gets in their own head or in their own way?
I mean, I'd say I always think the playful route is the best route. So, when in doubt, just be playful, be fearless. Usually the things that you are afraid to say are what they want to hear.
Like what?
I mean, men are not so complicated, right? Like, at the end of the day, everyone wants to feel good. And everyone wants someone to make them, feel special. And that goes both ways. And I find that a lot of my girlfriends are scared to, share their emotions. However, when you do something in a playful way and you kind of own up to it, and it can almost be, it could almost be a joke, like something so trivial, like,
Like what? Something came to mind. Say it.
Something did come to mind. Hey, I'm going to work and, bumping into you, I just couldn't stop smiling and just sharing.
Oh my God, this is like.
What was it?
That's the stuff you always tell me to say, and then I'm like, I can't say this. What do you mean, like? Oh, I was just
Lightning, thunderbolt.
I was just in my Uber, and I just thought of you, and like now I'm blushing. Like, and I'm like, this, I can't say this, and she's like, watch this, and then sure enough, he's like, oh my God. Can I take you to dinner tomorrow? Like, men fall for this shit. But they do.
I mean, the way you said it sounds really cheesy, but
yeah, I know. Yeah. But that's how I read it.
Like
because I think everything is always like cheesy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It comes to falling in love.
But yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you just got to do you.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're having fun and you're able to make fun of yourself, and just keep things light, then, energy's energy. People want to be around people that are fun, flirty, having a good time.
Last summer when we were on the boat, my favorite summer activities on the boat, you'll see. I remember people were like, that Brynn Whitfield, she's a yacht girl on Reddit. I'm like, it's my friend's parents' boat. Like, no, it's not some dude I'm hanging out with, like, Talia and her family.
But you do own it.
I do own it.
You come and you take over.
I come in and I take over. I'm like,
all the staff are crushing on you. Yeah. Everyone's asking.
I love
when
it.
When is Brynn coming?
I love it. They're so sweet. Everyone is so kind. And what was I gonna say? But I remember last summer we had a very, very funny incident where, you're on a boat and one of our other friends was there. We all had like a different guy problem, and mine was just that I was single. And then our mutual friend was like, he DM'd her and was like, wait, I matched with this girl on Raya. She never messaged me back. And then she put in a good word for him, and he was Swedish. He was extraordinarily handsome, like devastatingly like model handsome and blah, blah, blah. We couldn't figure out the height, remember? I was like measuring and using like ChatGPT to try to figure out the ratio.
Oh, the professor.
The professor. Yes, he was a university professor and he was Swedish. And
very good
super
with his
hot.
words.
And it started really cute. Remember, it was good and all these things. And he was like, oh, I'm going to be in London. Maybe I can see you, etc. Fast forward, I don't know how this happened, but that one went from 0 to 60. We're like, remember all of a sudden I got a dick pic.
Yeah. Oh, God.
A very Swedish unsolicited dick pic. And it was, no, you warned me though, because he started sending selfies.
He did.
He sent selfies in the mirror. And then he'd send me pictures of, like, I'm reading this. And he just went, it was like a, I don't remember, it was like an art book open to a random page. And I remember I showed Talia and I was like, oh my God, look, he likes art too. And she's like, babe, he just opened a random book and took a picture. They're like, she's like, he's not on page 174. Who's reading that shit? Like, it's the truth. He was like posing next to books and things, and that should have been a red flag. And I was like, no, because he's cute and he's hot. And then, sure enough, it got like, I think I said one, he said something spicy. I said something spicy back, words. But then it was boom, full frontal, remember?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Oh my God. And then remember, I was like, I'm done with the Swedes. I'm over the Swedes.
I mean, it's funny because it's like, what's that point, right? Like, what's the trigger that gets someone to, do such a bold thing, especially when they haven't met you.
We haven't met, and we've only been talking for 3 days, and we're introduced through a mutual friend who's lovely, who's like a princess. So it's like he had to know that would have gotten back to her. I think he was excited.
Yeah, I do think that you had a funny way of intellectually arousing him.
I've been accused of that before. Yeah,
I really did get him off, which I think was really surprising because he was like, "Hold on a minute,
yeah.
This girl." She looks like a model, but she's probably read as many books as I have. She looks like a model.
She talks like a sailor.
And then, oh God. And then after that, you kind of, I think you had ghosted him and he got so triggered.
Yeah.
And he started sending you essays.
Yeah.
And essays
God,
about,
I forgot.
do you remember? He's like, look at the rain swiftly.
Oh, yeah. He started sending me all this stuff about,
the window.
It was like a solid, the rest of the boat trip. It was like a solid couple of weeks. It was long paragraphs. He's like, I'm looking outside my professor window in the rain and it reminds me of the time. And I'm like, remember? But then I couldn't.
It reminds me of how I would caress you. And we're like, wait, hold on a minute. What?
Me. Yeah. And then you were like, put it down, put it away. But I couldn't stop. I was like, I'm just going to let the messages keep coming. I was like, wow, that keeps coming. You're like, just tell him to stop. But I couldn't because I hated it, but I liked it.
Yeah, and then we read it with Dad, and we're just having a great.
And then we told her Dad. No, actually, this is Talia, because Talia tells her parents everything, which is crazy to me as someone who never had parents, but then didn't have like raw, like really intense transparency with them. We're sitting at dinner, and Talia's like, yes, Papa, please pass the champagne. And she's like, Brynn got a dick pic today, and everyone's like, ew, let's see the dick pic. And her mom's speaking Turkish and everything, and everyone's like, and I'm like, and I'm just blushing, and it's like, then we had to share the whole story with the whole family, and the vote came in. The board said, he's not the man for me. That is not my husband. So then I had to block him.
The picture was approved, though.
Oh my God. I still have the picture, I think. So don't go on Riot, kids, and don't go to Sweden. No, he was hot.
He was, yes.
It was a beautiful penis, too. It was, really.
What would I know? Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, Dad. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Let's play the game. Okay. We're going to play a little game. You have to close your eyes.
Okay.
And Belle's going to read a question, and you have to either point at yourself or point at me for it's true. And then we'll open our eyes and see. Let's see how well we know each other.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready for question 1.
Who's more likely to sext during a Zoom meeting and forget the camera's on?
Yeah. All day, every day, all day, every day.
I totally sext, but I'd never forget the camera's on.
All right. Oh my God. That's why you got to keep notifications off. Okay. All right, let's do it again. Next question.
Who's more likely to use astrology as an excuse for toxic behavior?
Me. Because I'm an idiot and I love astrology.
I don't believe in that shit.
Yeah, she's too smart. Again, she was loved by her father, okay? The rest of us muggles rely on astrology and horoscope and sheer luck and a prayer in order to know what to do with men. Okay, next question.
Who's more likely to fake an accent for an entire night just for the plot?
She's literally done that. No, you do it all the time. You make up like stories with men, and you tell them.
I do. I am a storyteller.
Taking the piss. You just make up fucking tall tales everywhere, and she thinks it's so funny. Like you're probably. I know.
I do, but not the accents. I have the stories. You have the accent.
Yeah, but you like probably made like elaborate plays as a child and all these things. You have quite an imagination.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I always have a different profession every time.
No, I'm just the drunk loser going around saying, "Are you my husband? Are you?
Are you? Please?
You want to be?" Okay, next one. Do we have any more?
Who's more likely to make out with someone purely for the free Uber ride home?
I mean, neither of us were not poor.
No. It wouldn't be an Uber.
It wouldn't be an Uber.
Please.
I mean, yeah, okay.
Shared ride.
A shared ride.
Who's more likely to respond WID with just a GPS location with zero context? So like dropping a pin.
Wait, so someone texts us WID and then you just drop a pin as a reply?
Wait, what is WID?
She's so classy. What are you doing?
Okay.
And you just drop a pin. Okay, ready? On 3. 1, 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because she's so nonchalant. Because she'd be like, "What are you doing?" And you would literally, even if it was a different country, she would drop. I think she's done this. Drop it, and be like, "I'm here.
I'm here. Come find me.
If you can
fancy.
come find me, if you want to see me.
Fancy a good time.
I also might be gone by the time you get here, but it's your fault." Like Talya's little miss self-respect. Me, I'd be like, "Drop your pin. I'll come." I'll pay for my Uber. No. Okay, last one.
Who is more likely to fall in love mid-hookup and start planning the wedding?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You text me once and I'm like, dun, 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 dun. I'm romantic. And I never like anyone. So if I like you, we're getting married.
I know.
It's fine. It's okay.
I'm usually like, I'll hook up with you.
No, you are a commitment. You are very much like, this guy's in love with her. This one's in love with her. And she's like, You have left people at the airport after they've been like, "Talia, I love you. You're the love of my life." And literally she turns to the guys and she goes, "Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye." Yeah. We're the exact opposite.
I know, but it's funny because, when people meet us, they think, bras out.
Guns out? You mean guns out?
Fun, wild.
Yeah. No, we're good girls.
Yeah.
But it's funny, too, we had such different upbringings, but we can be so similar.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially after midnight.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's go get drinks. Thank you, Talia, for this mini episode. This is fun.
I hate you.
Thank you, Countess. Thank you, Your Honor. Countess, Your Royalty Honor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's like, no, stop.